Welcome, everyone. Welcome to my podcast, Master Your Emotion and Find Your Truth. Today is number 15, 1, 5. That's a miracle number. I would like to say every number is a miracle. But also, I'm going to tell you a little bit around the number 15. But before I'm diving into the 15, I've got a lots of to talk about the day today. Is a 902 and 2023. So also is a meaning. So also it's a two numbers 9. Oh my goodness. I hope so. Some of you know what is the kind of the meaning number 9. But if no, it's okay. Stay tuned. I'm going to tell you a little bit more. So before I'm going to introduce my guest today, let's go say number 15. What is the number? So the number is about discovery. Did I hear the dog?
Sorry, yes.
Sorry.
That's
okay.
my dog.
I said, where I'm hearing the dog. Okay. It's okay, fine. So number 15, so that is a discovery number. So 1 is the beginning, and number 5 is showing you new cycle. So that's beautiful opportunity to have this number today. And number 9 is the bridge between the spirituality and actually that's a bridge. I would like to say the bridge between your mind, body, spirit, and to the full awakening process. Let's go me say like that, because you'll be know. The 9 is opportunity to rise up and evolve and grow. So I just want to give you that for the audience, of course, a little bit information. But let's go dive into the podcast. I'm so excited. I'm so happy. I've got today Jonathan. That's a beautiful, beautiful guest. And actually, I just only found this beautiful soul on the Instagram. That was a beautiful, just only pop up straight away on my face. And I was like, oh, yes, I just only felt that energy. I said, let's go dive in much more deeper and let's go give opportunity to that soul to tell the truth. What is actually the truth and how he is going to master his emotion. So he's a can I say that you are just only guiding the people or just only giving them spiritual guidance and also how I can may I just only give you that time and opportunity to introduce yourself. Welcome.
Yeah, thank you very much, Gabriela. It's an honor to be here on your podcast today. Well, like you said, my name is Jonathan. On Instagram, I go as Light Warrior John. And in reality, what I started doing was it happened out of nowhere. I went through my awakening process, and one day after my self healing and after I felt ready, I decided to make a post one day and start putting on my history, just, advice and started to share with what I learned with other people. And I was kind of just testing the waters. And then I realized that this was actually something that was needed. It was very fairly new. And although it's been happening for generations and ages, we have lost it, spirituality somewhere along the way. And now it's coming back. And so I felt the need to share my experiences, what I learned. Not that I consider myself to be on a high level of of knowledge, because there's a lot of people out there who are professionals and been going through this path for many, many, many years. But I consider myself to just fairly new. Like I said, I've been in the path for 3 years, and just sharing what I know, really, just real experiences with people.
Okay, that's beautiful. But you usually said the professional. You are the professional as well. So we are dividing the people. I'm a professional, and who is not a professional? We've got our own path in our life. We've got our own mission. So that's why I would like to say you are professional. Definitely, you are professional. You are here. You are just only sharing the information and the knowledge for the people, for the others.
Thank you.
So, yeah, that's true. So the other souls who are not awaking yet, or maybe just on the first stage, of course, we're going to talk a little bit more deeper about the spiritual awakening, what kind of the stages we've got as well.
Mhm.
Um, would you mind just only tell a little bit more about your truth? Did you find your own truth and how was it like? Or maybe
It
you're still
was,
fighting.
yeah. So for me, it happened, and from what I've come to realize, it happened in 2020. That's when I started coming to the awakening. However, I had no clue what spirituality was
Okay.
back then. I had never even watched a YouTube. I didn't watch anything on it. I had no clue. I had no friends that was going through this, so I went through it blindly. To be honest, I was just in a dark cloud, dark moment in my life, and something had happened to me to make me realize that I needed to make a change. That I was just unhappy with where I was and where my life was heading, and I knew that I needed to make something happen. And so when I made that choice, it took day by day, just correcting all the flaws that I had, all the bad habits that we create through our entire lifespan. And months later, I'm on YouTube and I end up on uh, a site just watching a video of extraterrestrials because I've always been into that. And then I found this individual who was a whistleblower for the government, and he was talking about like five different species of ETs.
Mhm.
And I was like, this is so fascinating, man. I always believed in this, right? And so that video led me to another video, which led me to spirituality, which I was like, wait a minute, this is actually a thing. And I was like, this is what I've been going through. This is what I've been doing all this time. And so it started making sense at that point now, right? It's like now I had a guideline. Now I knew what I was going through, and so I started taking more action. I was now more aware. And then eventually I took a year for myself. I took a whole year to do self therapy to myself. I lost 45 pounds. Um,
Oh,
just,
that's good.
yeah, it was kind of like in the mix of getting out of the darkness, but at the same time, I needed time for myself to understand and just do my own rehab type. And yeah, after I came out of that cloud, then I started getting back to the gym. I'm starting to gain weight again, and then I started sharing my content on Instagram, and it's been going pretty well.
Yeah, but thank you for the sharing. But how did you know is that the time to be awake? How is that feel? Because sometimes we are ready, but we are thinking we are not ready, or maybe we can go. We are stopping ourselves. That's our limiting beliefs, of course. That's our pattern. But how did you know that that's the time to awake? As a child, did you experience something as a spirituality as well, or something? Is it connected?
Um, as a child, so I've always felt like the black sheep, which a lot of us say that, right? I
Okay.
definitely felt like the black sheep of the family. But I was different from all the other guys per se. You know, a
Mm,
lot of guys are into talking about sports or joking around and this is that. And my character was always serious. My character was always different. I always believed in things that people used to call conspiracy theories, right?
mhm.
So I already knew in that sense I was different. My family was a Catholic. So as kids, all my cousins and I were forced to go to church and all that. And every time I go to a church or had a family member that came always talking about the Bible and religion, like very intense,
Mhm.
I was never interested. I always felt like no disrespect to anybody who believes in religion, of course, but it just never resonated with me. And so when it comes down to like mythology and the gods and all that stuff, I was always interested in that stuff. That stuff really called my attention.
Mm,
But like you said, we were always led to believe that was just fallacies and make believe stories and
mm.
not real. And so when I found Ishmael and I saw his podcast and then read his book. Oh my God, that was just an explosion of light. Like it was like a relief for me. I was like, yes, I knew it. And especially because that was in a time where I was really ready to give up. And so
Okay.
um that really kicked it off for me. Yeah.
Yeah, so the universe gave you that beautiful angel or whatever you would like to call it. I don't know. Probably you're not believing in. I thought the name of the god is got a different names. I would like to say it, but definitely what you said, the black sheep of the family. So I really got that sense and that feeling. Everyone who is making the podcast, we are all the black sheep of the family.
Right,
We
right.
are just only all together in that mission on the planet Earth, definitely. And also what I'm sensing as well. Um, I don't know how about you, if you're believing the past lives, about our ancestors, about the karma, how we just only holding that baggage on our back and just only releasing. and just only stepping fully and let them go as well. But that they all package for themselves and stepping into the 5th dimension. That's amazing. So how about the stages, about the awakening process? So if somebody is watching us and they're not sure where are they at the moment, or maybe they have anything say about that?
Yeah, so like I said, when I went through it blindfolded. So I had no clue what was happening. I had to learn on my own, and I wish I had a guideline. I wish I had somebody there,
Mm-hmm.
or a YouTube video or an Instagram that would have led me to making my process a lot easier. Um,
Yeah.
and so that's kind of where a lot of our star seeds come in now, and where we're trying to put in the content, mainly not to reach everybody, but at least one, two, whoever we can reach out and help. That's I think that is amazing. So it's an amazing tool to know that we have such thing as internet and so many platforms to share our content.
Yeah.
And so, um, like the way it happened for me, I'll explain for my awakening. So because I
Yes,
think
please.
people that that are new to the awakening process, or people that are on the verge of, am I going through this? Am I not going through this?
Yeah.
Or do I want to commit to this? They think that it's just something mystical and something out of this world. And in reality, it's something just simple as knocking down this program that's been built in us, the lies, the deceptions, the indoctrinations from our government, from the finance system, from our education, from religion, all those lies.
Mm-hmm.
And you are now aware of what is happening. You no longer are taking orders just because they're telling you to do so. And now you're starting to question things like the vaccine, right? Oh, here, we have the cure, but yet you don't really have enough information on it. And it's just a test trial. So let's ask questions. Why? I'm not just going to get the jab because of that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so that's really where it all started. Um, and so the awakening is really just grabbing all your long lifetime traumas that we think are normal behaviors, and reprogramming ourselves to how we are supposed to act in the real world, and not how we've been taught to. And so, coming from a background where I've been bullied for a large part of my life, where I grew up with my parents, who they're great parents, but my mother was very strict. Um, then going into uh, deceptions and lies and cheatings from friends and girlfriends in the past, all that stuff
Mm.
builds walls.
Yeah, that's true.
And so you change your personality and who you are, and now you start living on guard, on security, and you just a lack of trust in people, and you just don't believe in humanity anymore, because you believe that that somebody always has something up their sleeve, per se. And
Yeah.
so we think that that's normal behavior, and in reality is not. Those are all traumas. And so
Yeah.
when I found myself one day, after an argument with my wife, uh, I was in a very, very dark place. And I was also combating with PTSD from the military.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
so that was huge. It was huge because I've seen many psychologists, I've been to many therapies, but nothing ever,
sorry. I felt that
nothing.
energy, what you're saying about this, all the PTSD and that kind of thing. Sorry, just keep carrying on.
And it's serious because, believe it or not, although I've lost soldiers in Afghanistan in the war and all that, I lost a lot more soldiers after we came back due to suicide, which
Yeah.
I find it even worse, not to die over the war combating the enemy, but because you came over here and it got to you mentally, right? And not having enough resources or the correct help. So
Yeah.
that sucks. And so after realizing that I was at a point in my life where I was just disgusted with myself, I knew I was wrong, although I had that macho alpha mentality. And there's nothing wrong with me. I am the way I am, and you're just going to have to deal with it or not, get out of my face type of mentality, right? And one day I realized, I was like, all right, you know you're wrong. You know you have a lot of things to fix. And it's right now you're gonna either make it or break it, all right? And then so one day after being stuck on alcohol and smoking a lot of marijuana, after that altercation, that last altercation with my wife, I had one of the craziest things happen to me. It was an amazing experience, but it was unexplainable. I had my lower self and my higher self like appear to me right there and then in that moment. It was so real and so scary at the same time because the lower self of me was showing me how I can lose my wife, I can lose my kids, I can go to jail, I can die if I continue going in the path and direction that I was going.
Yeah.
But it was so vivid and so scary that it really scared me. It really scared me as a grown man who's been to war and back. That really scared me. That's how vivid it was. And then on the other side, it was my higher self who looked sharp, who had it all, the house, the money, the wife was happy, the kids were happy. I was full of this different energy that I lost somewhere along my life. And I was like, that's who I want to be. And then that is what led me to change. That is what led me to the path of taking day by day and saying, okay, if one of my problems was cursing, I was going to try to curse less the next day. If I got road rage, I was going to try not to get as mad the next time the person in front of me doesn't move as soon as the light turns green. Or if somebody cuts me off, I'm not going to curse them and chase them down with my car and play this immature game, right? I was just going to take a breather and relax. And although we live in this third dimensional frequency with low vibrations, low energy, and negative things are bound to happen, you need to catch yourself each time. And it's okay to fall into the traps, but as long as you're acknowledging and as long as you're catching yourself,
Yes,
that is where you're going into the right direction.
yeah. Wow, thank you. I really appreciate you shared that information and everyone listening. Wow, that's a lot. That's a lot you had on your shoulder, definitely. So how you can, because we need to face it, but some of us really afraid to face that dark side of the night. I don't know, the people calling the shadow, the loss of that death of the ego. That's a lot of stuff I had in my life that few days that was happening maybe several times, but it really that was I experienced something like almost dying. I don't know if you felt that situation in your life. You're just when you're sitting and literally you don't feel it your body fully, and you're feeling like you are. I couldn't explain. I was like, I said, "Gosh, I'm dying." First, that was me freaked me out. I said, "What's going on with me?" But then something was around me, like kind of the angel energy, that's a beautiful warmness around me, and saying to me, "Yeah, okay, you are set." Oh God, I have got the goosebumps now over my place. Oh, so that gave me that huge opportunity to don't freak out. And I was just keeping saying, I remember that vision. I was sitting on the chair in the kitchen. I was like, okay, I'm fine, I'm really good. I'm going through that, and then I will be much more stronger and stronger. And here I am, I'm sitting and I'm talking about this. And also I've got a goosebump. That's a confirmation. I'm telling the truth. So we're speaking the truth. So you've done that first stage. That I assume that's first stage when you just only realize
Yeah.
your lows and the highest, and then that was your first stage. So how about the second, third, fifth? Because I saw the few video you've been recorded that beautifully on the Instagram. So if anyone is watching, just I'm sending you straight away. Go and watch that beautiful. That was the 5 stages or 6 stages you just only recorded.
5 stage, was it 5 or 6? I believe it was
Maybe
five
six.
stages and the sixth stage was just the manifestation. Yes.
Yeah, the manifest. Everyone wants the manifestation. So
Yes, we all want to
how
get there.
how we can get there? If somebody's watching and
So,
saying I can't do that. I'm just only trying and nothing is appearing in front of me.
well, the first thing you want to do is eliminate that I
Hmm.
can't.
Okay.
Let's eliminate that negative I can't, or I suffer from anxiety, I suffer from depression, I need my pills, I need this, I need that. And I'm saying
Yeah.
this freely because I was one of those people. I was under that. Come on, coming from PTSD, the VA gives you a whole bag of pills, and in reality, what they do is make you even more of a zombie.
I know.
So, and in reality, all you need is yourself, to be real with yourself, to accept yourself, and to know. It's funny because social media has created this stigma that you have to be perfect. You have to look a certain way. You have to act a certain way. And then they only post
Yeah.
after taking 100 videos to make it the perfect video.
Oh no.
So when what you're looking at this amazing video, and like, oh my God, I want that. I want to look like that. Or I'm not that good, or this is what I need. And we need to break out from that. All right. And so that's what I do in my videos. I portray how it is with mistakes, whether I spell something wrong, or I stuttered, or I look however I look. Like, it is okay to accept the imperfections. Okay. So that's number one, right? And so the awakening process, the way I learned it and from talking for others, is number one, you're going to be in one of those places in your life where you're just at your worst and you're just tired of it, and you want to change. And you know that whatever you've been doing for the trajectory of your lifespan up to that moment has not been working. And so now you need to shift, and you need to do something different now.
Yeah.
You need to reinvent yourself. And you said it actually, where you were going through your awakening, is it's like a death and a rebirth, right? In
You need to
life.
die. Definitely,
You
you
need
need
to
to die.
you need to kill the old you, and you need to reincarnate and become a new you. So that's step number one, is identifying that. Step number two is going to be observing. Now you're observing how you're acting, how you're reacting. You're observing the people around you to make sure that there's a lot of people who portray to be there for you, and in reality they're fake. Their energy is not really
Yeah.
genuine. And that could be friends, that can be family. Just because they're blood related does not mean there's a lot of jealousy and hatred amongst your own family, believe it or not. Okay. And that's not for everybody, but I'm just
Yeah.
letting you know how it is in some cases. So observing your surroundings and adjusting from there. Okay. So once you've gone through a bad situation and you know you need to change, now you observed, and now you got to acknowledge. Okay. You have to acknowledge your wrongs. You have to acknowledge who works for you and who doesn't, who needs to go. And once you're done with acknowledging, then we got to do shadow work. And shadow
Wow.
work is the hardest and longest part to me. It's and I don't think it ever ends. Shadow work is correcting all your traumas, going back from how far you can go as a little kid, as you were a
Yeah.
little kid, and whether it was child abuse, whether it was neglection, whether it was bullying, whether it was lying, cheating, and deceiving, whatever it was, you need to figure that out on your own, right? And you need to be honest with yourself. You need to be 100% real. And so every day correcting those mistakes that you no longer want to be a part of you, which goes back to that death and rebirth. And the rebirth is saying, okay, this is not who I want to be anymore. So every day is going to be a challenge. And every day you're going to feel like a setback because, okay, I'm not going to curse anymore. And then something happens and you're like, shit, F this, that. And you're like, oh, but I said I wasn't going to curse anymore. But you did it. But you
Yeah.
acknowledged it now, right? You
You're
observing
right.
it, you're acknowledging now, and you're correcting it until no longer is there. And you do that with everything in your trauma. I don't trust anybody because I've been cheated and lied to. Okay. Well, this person that I'm talking to has never lied to me and never cheated on me. So why should I bring that energy and those memories onto this new person? So I need to learn to trust again, right? So every day you got to be more open about yourself and let that guard down. Okay, so once you're done with the shadow work, okay,
Mhm.
now we go to the point where you you start healing yourself. You start working out, taking care of your body, right? We're going to start taking care of body, mind, and soul. and you now want to eat healthy. You want to start learning, oh, what should I be? Because now you notice that on a lot of our products, a lot of the stuff that we have has fluorides and has stuff that are shutting our pineal gland, which is the reason why we are not able to have that extra sense that we have, that extra power that we naturally are supposed to have.
Yeah.
And so you're eating healthy, you're taking care of your body, you're meditating, you want to know what meditation is, you want to know what you start doing yoga, you start doing breath work. And so you start implementing all these beautiful and healthy techniques into your lives, tools that you never did. You start reading books, you start wanting to know what spirituality is. And then once you start mastering all of that, beautiful things start happening from meditating, right? Like talking to higher realms, your higher self, your spirit guides, the angels. That gives us so much information, in which a lot of wealthy people know this, and they do this to get new innovative ideas through meditations, and that's how they're able to become so successful in life. And then lastly, Gabriela, we have manifestation. Once you've done that whole process, we are creators. We are natural born creators in our lives. And so when you look at it, you got to look at it like a movie. You are the producer now. So you create your own life, your own movie. And because now you are in such a better place, you're a better person, your mind is clear and is not full of unhealthy thoughts. You're able to control your mind now. Now you're creating what you want and you're manifesting as you go. And so that is the whole awakening process.
That's a lot. That's a lot. When somebody's watching us and saying, gosh, I can't, and they saying that's something coming to their mind and coming out from their mouth. I can't do that. Can I have a quick fix? Can I have just a tiny small pill so I can swallow it and I can waking up in the morning and all the work would be done? Is that possible?
Gabriela, no, let's face it. Nothing good comes out of not anything easy. You know, my greatest accomplishments, my greatest stepping stones have come from challenges. Um, let's go to a sport. If you've ever played a sport, you'll know that, we're not trying to get participation trophies. We want to practice and work hard every single day so that when we get to that champion game, so that we can make it to the champion game. And when we get to the champion game, we're facing the best team
That's
out
right.
there. And when we win, that trophy is going to just feel that much better. So you got to do the same thing with your life. You are the trophy, and you got to love yourself more than you love anything else, right? And so
That's
I think you got to do the steps. You got to work hard at it. And the feeling and the reward will be much better at the end.
Yes, definitely. I remember myself last year. I was training to the marathon. I ran it. I don't know how I did it, but I did it. But I did it anyway. I don't know. I just only was guided by the angels to the marathon because I remember myself 3 miles before finish the finish line. I was like saying, no, I don't want to go. Oh, I'm going giving it up. I'm just only still walking. I don't want to run. And something inside me just was saying, like a tiny little voice, just go for it. Go, go, go. Just try it. A little bit slower, but just go and you can achieve it. And then I achieve it. So that's why, as you said, it's no quick for. I don't believe it actually in the quick fix. Like always, I'm saying to the source where they come, quick fix is not for not with me. You can go somewhere else, but not in my service. I'm not offering that stuff because you can come for another day. You can start saying the words which one I don't want to say, receive it straight away. And how about you said that beautifully about the stages, about the awakening process. I know that we would like to manifesting everything beautiful house, relationship, cars, I don't know, vacation, etc. But we forgot about the tiny small things about the manifestation because we are still manifesting the stuff. Is that true? Because every morning when you're waking up, you're manifesting something.
We're still
Tea, coffee.
manifesting, and we were manifesting before we even knew what manifestation is.
Yeah,
Is that because we weren't in a clear space, because we didn't understand it, it comes at a very longer span of time. So you may think today about the dream house that you want and the dream car, and you might not get it right now, but you might get it 5, 10 years from now. You're like, oh, wait a minute. I remember back in the day when I used to think about this
that's
house and now
true.
I have it. So by you going through the awakening process, by you becoming a better person, by you vibrating at a higher energy level, and you going through those stages, when we talk about you being the producer and the manifestations, it now happens almost instantly. It happens a lot quicker now than having to wait 5, 10 years down the road. And so that is the beauty of doing the work, right?
Yeah.
You vibrating high all the time. So manifestations are still happening, just because you're vibrating at a much lower vibration and frequency.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's taking longer for you to receive that manifestation.
So what is really blocking us? Let's go talk a little bit about the vibration, emotion, and maybe we can touch a little bit chakras, because we know the manifestation is much more higher instead of the lower chakras.
Yeah,
So
so you go into studying into chakras, right? And then each chakra represents something different, right? All the way from security to sexuality to your heart, which is your love life or friendships or stuff like that, your communication, confidence, your ability to your intuition and being able to manifest and all that. And so once you start understanding the chakras and what you have blocked, which is the traumas that we spoke about in our
yes,
lives, and you start connecting each one to the correct chakra, and once you start unblocking each one of those and you have an aligned, balanced, and grounded system now you're able to get into that manifestation mode and get into that third and crown chakra where we all want to be, right?
yeah, that's why the manifestation I couldn't get. So that's like you said beautifully, Jonathan. We need to go step by step, step by step. So I'm just only saying in myself every time when I'm just only describing something, I'm using the ladder because the ladder for me is the best stuff. So if something missing, we need to rebuild it or we need to recall it back again. So kind of the small pieces of ours. But anyway, our souls, I would like to go much more deeper. But anyway, so then we have a go step by step in the ladder. So if you're missing one piece, we couldn't go. If you didn't open the one ladder, I mean
And
I don't
and
know
the
how
thing about the chakras is
yeah.
it's step by step, but there's no order to it. It's not like you have to start at the root and then go into the sacral and then go to the solar plexus and
Mm-hmm.
then heart and then throat and then third eye and then crown. It's not necessarily like that because Gabriela, you may have a great root chakra, you may have no blockages there. You may
Yeah.
have a blockage in your solar plexus. You may have a blockage in your throat. And so the important part is, once again, is being real with yourself, grabbing a journal and dropping down honestly 100% the negative things about you that you think are about you and negative things that you might have heard somebody else say about you, you know? Somebody might have a friend or in the past a family member, somebody must have told you, you know, you were very controlling. uh, you're a possessive person, or you know, you need to start trusting people. And if you see a pattern that people's told you that, you be like, you know what, maybe I do have a trust in it. And I'll have to be honest. Nobody really wants to call your own flaws. Nobody really wants
Mm-hmm.
to do that. You want to say you're perfect, right? Or close to perfect. And so it's that digging in deep, that being honest with yourself. And once you're able to drop those down, you have a list now, and now you can go off of that list and be like, okay, these are the things I need to correct. And then now you can go and compare those to where they belong in which chakra,
Okay.
right? And
Mm-hmm.
then now you know which chakras you need to that you have blockages and you need to unblock.
Yeah, so that sounds like a testing what kind of the blockages
Yeah,
you've
it
got.
really
Which,
is self-evaluation.
but how? But thank you for just only touching this because that's really crucial. Because sometimes the people can project their insecurity and safety on us. So how we can recognize? Did you experience that kind of the stuff in your life? So if somebody is coming to you and saying, like you said, that you're much more you're you're controlling too much the people, or you're controlling too much something, how do you know they're not projecting their own beliefs, their own limiting beliefs?
So, for example, I've been with my wife already 14 years, right? And it'd be a lie if I told you that there wasn't many challenges in the relationship, right? And a lot of the challenges that are in that present relationship are stuff that you're carrying on your backpack from previous history relationships. And so you bring in all that baggage into that relationship. And so what happens is you get to a point where, like I said, where you just get tired of the way things are going. And so you know you need to make a change. And I'm like, okay, well, I love my wife and I definitely love my kids and I want to save my relationship. And I know that I have a lot to blame for the things that are happening in this relationship. I know that in the previous relationship, I've analyzed that I am controlling and that I am this macho alpha type of mentality guy. And so when you start digging in deep and you start analyzing and you start to be real with yourself, you start like, okay, well, if I do my part, and I'm not going to sit here and point, well, you need to do this and you need to change that. And you just worry about what you have to do.
Yeah.
Once you start correcting yourself, you no longer care if that other person is doing their work or not, because you know that you are coming from a better place yourself now and that you're fixing yourself. And now you start analyzing that, okay, well, at least I'm trying. At least I'm becoming a better person and self-correcting all my flaws. And now that I know that I've corrected myself and we still having issues, now I know it's not me. Now I know it's you. And it's you reflecting your problems onto me.
Okay. Okay, so that's all the kind of the things we need to, oh no, another things. Because you said the real and analyzing, be real with yourself and analyzing the situations. So which word I'm really, really specific. I would like to know, is it analyzing, analytical mind? I mean, analyzing something in your life.
Self-reflection.
Okay, so what you can do? Okay, so because sometimes the people just only listening and you're saying, oh my goodness, I don't know what is analyzing because somebody told me analytical mind, analyzing everything is not really good.
Think about it.
And
a lot of
that's
people
people
who
just
go
only, yes.
through a lot of people who go through depression and anxiety, which a lot of people in our world go through that, right? And a
Oh,
lot of
yes.
people use it as a crutch now. And I'm just gonna say it like that. We use it as a crutch and we use it to justify our behavior, our negative behavior. And it's not okay, right? And so if you've gone through something like that, most of you have had opportunity to sit in front of a psychologist. And what does a psychologist really do? Listens.
Yes, that's true. I've been there.
They just listen. If you really think, I sat through with so many different psychologists and they have never told me anything beneficial. But you know what they did do? They provided an ear. And I knew that it was somebody that I didn't know. And that when I left that office, I didn't care if I disclosed my own personal feelings because I know it's not going to follow me and going to expose me to my environment. So what it did was it lended an ear for us to speak out loud. And as we are speaking out loud and telling them our stories, we self-analyze, we self-reflect at that moment.
Yes.
And sometimes we catch certain things and we're like, oh crap, I never realized that. I never thought about that way, but now that you spoke about it out loud and not in your own mind, now you became aware of it. And now that you're aware of it, you're ready to do the shadow work on it.
That's true. Yes. We needed somebody to hold our space for the healing. That's definitely, that shouldn't be the psychologist. That shouldn't be a really professional specialist or therapist. That even that could be a stranger on the street. You can go and just only talk with them. Oh, actually, that a story came to my head, like a story, because I remember my grandmother was really a phobic person. I'm the phobic, but in a good way, because every time she went to the doctor, but that was her story. But anyway, she didn't go because she was ill. She went just only for talk and chat with that doctor because she was like, that's fascinating. I love that person. And they've been chatting about any topic, any idea. I said, why did you go? Why? Because I'm feeling better after. I'm feeling much more energized because that's the only person who understands me. So we need to be, how I can say, resourceful to find a different way and navigate this crazy world, I would like to say. that's coming.
Hmm.
Yeah, so that will be the way. So find yourself really truly with your really truly find yourself and speak your truth about yourself and the face that all the shadows which one you carry and you didn't drop it after
And
like you
you know what, Gabriela, that's one of the things we need to shy away with. And as a society, we need to correct ourselves and do better, become better people, because we live in a world of so much judgment. We live in a
oh yes.
world where there's no loyalty, there's no respect anymore. And so that is the reason why people don't open up, because there's no true friendships without you saying something and then that person telling another person, or just twisting your words and creating
Yes.
a bigger, you know, negative story about yourself. So that's why a lot of people hold back. So I
Mm,
think one of the important things that we need to start doing is having more respect for one another, being more loyal, and start being a judgment free zone. You know, where you can say what you want to say, I can say what I want to say. You have your opinion, I have my opinion, and whether you
yes.
uh, see yours or mine, you need to just respect it. And as simple as that, and just accept it for what it is. And I think that as long as we start creating those morals and those values in ourselves, once again, that we will become better listeners. And when we become better listeners, people start becoming more open about their feelings and their inner problems, instead of me saying, "Hey, Gabriela, how's your day today?" "Oh, I'm okay." And in reality, you're not okay,
No,
right? So
that's true.
being able to create that trust, and to where we can open to one another and we can communicate to one another, will make us we will definitely become better people, for sure. And that's what we need to strive to do.
Yes, definitely, because you're speaking your own truth and also just linking in. That's my podcast is named Master Your Emotions Straight Away. So you'll be able to express yourself fully and all the stuff, all the baggage or just any rubbishes will be coming out straight away out. And then
Right.
I will be
And you wouldn't
releasing.
be holding all that baggage, just like you said, correct. You wouldn't be holding it because you're letting it out now. You have somebody to talk to. You have somebody to communicate and able to realize right then and there in that instance what the issue is and what to self-correct. So,
Yeah. So how we can start mastering our emotions? Have you ever experienced that kind of the thing? So did you master your emotions?
well, believe it or not, it's still a work in progress, right?
Yeah, that's a
Definitely, I
never
can't.
ending
I'm not
story.
gonna say. I'm not gonna say I'm fully there, but it's definitely a work in progress. Definitely doing a much better job from what I was doing maybe 2, 3 years from now, uh, or 3 years back then, right?
Okay.
I'm definitely opening up a lot more. Uh, I have a set of great friends now. I went on hermit mode during my shutdown that I told you that I lost like 45 pounds and I was
Yeah.
suffering. But
Yeah.
I I knocked down all my old friends. I knocked down some of my family members, and I reinvented my wheel. I reinvented who's in my circle and who's not. And the people that I have in my circle are very strong, firm people,
Good.
and they're amazing. I've met a lot of great soul brothers and sisters that are around the world, and we share the same mindset, the same energy. And that is the important part, is to know that you're in control of your environment. Don't try to please somebody else that you know is not doing you any good, or that's doing harm to you in your life, just because you are afraid, or you just don't want to hurt somebody's feelings, because at the end of the day, those people don't care about you. So take care of yourself. And one of the greatest lessons I learned in the military is actually two lessons. And one is, nobody's going to take care of you better than yourself.
Yeah,
And
that's
number
correct.
two is, slow is smooth and smooth is fast. So,
Amazing. I never heard that military was teaching that kind of the things, but that's amazing. That was a special words, I think so. Yeah, definitely. When you don't push, when you don't force, everything is coming straight away for you. So you don't have to wait and you don't have to, yeah, use your giving the power away. Yeah,
correct.
like I said, the mastering the emotion is out from my point of view is never ending story. We're going to mastering and mastering and mastering. After we just only get out from this avatar, we're going mastering again and again and again, because as on the soul level, we would like to, like some of us, of course, would like to elevate a little bit higher, the higher dimension. So definitely, actually, we are existing in a different dimension, but another story. Maybe we can record another podcast around this souls. I don't know.
Definitely,
We'll
definitely.
see. That's
The
amazing
thing
stuff.
about emotions also is just remember that emotions are they fluctuate. There are multiple emotions,
Yeah,
and
just a little bit. Yeah,
you're meant to go around them. You're not always just going to be happy. So if you're thinking that your life is always going to be happy
yeah,
and that you have to always be happy to be in a good state of mind, no, they're emotions. Sometimes you're going to feel sad. Sometimes you're going to feel angry, and it's okay to have all those feelings, but just learn to control them, learn to keep them in balance and keep yourself grounded. You got mad because of something, fine, be mad, feel it, understand it, why'd you get mad, and then release it. That's it.
that's true. Because always be thinking, oh, we have to be in the high vibration that all the yogi teachers do, and etc. That's the spirituality mean for some of us. It's not really like that. The spirituality means like
No,
up and down, up and down.
absolutely.
And you say,
Absolutely.
I'm just going down. And then you get
E-
up.
Especially if we're still living in the third dimensional world, right? I mean, it's bound to happen. You're bound to have highs and lows. So, until we move into a 4 or 5D, which
Yeah,
we're transitioning currently. But once we're fully there, then things may change. But for now, just expect the fluctuation of emotions and accept them
yeah,
for what they are.
that's true. That's definitely true like that. Yeah, so the mastering emotion, I would like to say everyone who is listening us is like a never-ending story, the same as the shadow works. Because I would like to add that kind of information for some of you listening us is like a kind of the thing like an ancestor lineage. So that the shadow work is there's only coming, creeping. Oh my goodness. Oh, it's coming. Anyway, it's flowing and flowing and flowing. We have to release it because as the black sheep of the family, I would accept black sheep of the family. We've just only signed it up for clearing up that stuff. But yeah, like you said, sometimes we don't have enough power because we are tired of it. Did you? Because you experience as well. You said that was you've been tired and also you
It's
haven't been.
draining. It's draining, and
Yeah,
it's a lot of weight we carry. Uh, Nobody wants to do the work because it's easier to be an a-hole than it is
yeah,
for you to actually do the work, right? Than to
yes,
take the actual walk and make it happen. So, um, going back to what you said, there is no shortcuts. You want to be awakened, you want to be a better person, you're gonna have to do the work. And you're going to unpack some nasty, ugly, dark stuff that perhaps you weren't ready to face, but you are very capable of facing.
yeah, that's true. That's definitely true. I would like to say thank you, and I would like to wrap it up our podcast. What would you like to say to the audience, the people just listening us? They would like to speak their own truth, and they would like to master their emotions.
Okay, well, first of all, thank you very much, Gabriela, for having me on your podcast. It was amazing. It was great talking to you. And guys, if you're feeling like your life is going downhill and you need a change in your life, if you're going through an awakening process, if you're new to this, the goal is to become better people. And it's very simple, yet very hard at the same time. So
Yes,
just work at it every day, become better people, help yourself before you try to help somebody else. Because by helping
yes,
yourself,
that's good. That's help
by
yourself
helping
first.
yourself, I noticed that there's a lot of people that want to help the whole entire world, and that's amazing, very genuine of you and admirable. But the biggest help you can provide to the world is helping yourself first. This Once you help yourself first and you're operating in a better system, in a higher vibration, a higher frequency with higher energy, now you're ready to pass that on and reciprocate that energy to somebody else. But if you're operating at 25%, 50%, and you're trying to get somebody else at 100%, it just doesn't make sense,
No,
guys.
no, fill your
So
cup
yeah,
first.
right, right, exactly.
Yeah, that's what I wrote in my book, the healing book. Fill your cup first, and then you will be able to just only pour it much more love, peace, and the good support to others. Um, any mantras, any good quotes helped you during that difficult, challenging time in your life?
Guys, no, no mantras, but I will show you something that
Anything that could be maybe
really
the
changed my
toy.
life.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Ishmael
Oh,
Perez's book, Our Cosmic Origin. This is edition number one, and this is edition number two, which has all the same information as this one, except it has been repolished so that even a 10-year-old reading this can understand it. And it has just one additional chapter from this one, but either book that you get is going to set you in the right direction, guys. It's going to disclose so much information. And I promote this book not because I'm affiliated with him or because I get sponsored or anything like that, because it literally changed my life. All the information in that book and all of Ishmael Perez's content on podcasts on YouTube literally provided me a peace of mind and allowed me to understand that I wasn't crazy, that I wasn't, that I wasn't the only one in the world feeling this way. And it
yeah,
provides so much light and so much information that is amazing information. And disclosures if you've ever been intrigued of how we actually came to about in this world and what to expect and what else is out there. It's an amazing book. So that is the one piece of information that for $11, $12 that this book costs from a person who didn't like to read. I have read this book two times already.
oh, really good. Good
And
for you.
I'm continuing to read it because it's like watching a movie. You watch a movie once,
Yes,
amazing movie. You watch a movie a second time. Oh my God, I missed that part. I don't remember seeing this part. Da, da, da. It makes so
yeah,
much more sense. You watch it the third time and you're starting to see more things and disclose more stuff. So
yeah.
yeah, that is one suggestion that I can give everybody.
Yeah, that's completely true. We need to read it or just when you rewatch it as many times as we can because every time is like a kind of the code behind the words, definitely, because every word, every letter got a meaning and frequency. So that's uncoding our beautiful potential inside us. That's beautiful. Yeah,
Yes,
that's amazing.
that book
Yeah,
is a huge activator. It's a huge activator to who we are,
I know. Yeah,
where we came from. So if you haven't read that book, I highly recommend it. Go buy it.
definitely, definitely. So I recommend everyone just when you go straight away and get a copy of the second one because some of you maybe don't quite understand the first writing because I remember me just when you open the page it's like what's going on, what is
It's
kind of
definitely
the
a whole
word.
lot of information.
I said oh god. So I was just only said okay, let's go and dive in anyway. That's beautifully. Oh my goodness, thank you so much. That was a lot of information and thank you for your wisdom, knowledge and experience you shared with us. That's really really I couldn't stress. I couldn't put in the words. That's really, really mean for everyone who is listening to us. And I'm sure I strongly believe that your story is going to change a lot of souls' lives.
Thank you very much, Gabriela. And for those of you that don't follow me, you can go to my Instagram account, which is at Light Warrior John. So Light Warrior John, and you'll find me on Instagram, guys. And Gabriela, thank you very much for the podcast. It was amazing.
You're welcome. Thank you so much. I speak to you soon.
Okay, bye bye.
Bye.